We have snow and ice and generally just freezing conditions, keeping me indoors. Hello, beautiful people. I meant to post a video last week, but unfortunately, Christmas gifted me with the flu. So I got it like 4 days after through the New Year's. And as you can probably hear, I'm still pretty stuffed up. Not terribly unpleasant, but still kind of getting in the way. Mainly with, the fatigue is the mental fog that's still there. So I haven't really gotten into much gardening, just keeping up with the watering. Luckily, I did do my first round of fertilizing. So I fed the seedlings with some diluted fish fertilizer. I do have some footage of that, so here it is. It's too cold outside. I don't want to stink up the main house, so I'm doing this in the basement. It's my first feed of my indoor plants. This is what did it say? I can never figure it out. A 2, 3, 1 NPK, and then it's got the other micronutrients. For indoor plants, which is what I'm considering the plants, I'm going to do half. I'm only going to do half a gallon because I don't have that much to water. So I'm going to do half a tablespoon roughly in a gallon, half gallon of water. This is one of my few rainwater collected over the summer. I think that's a half gallon. Oops. And then I love these, medicine little cuppies for measuring. Oops, I was supposed to shake this first. Okay, 1 tablespoon is roughly 15 ml. This says 1.5 tablespoon per gallon, so I'm using half gallon. So I'm only using half of 1.5 tablespoons, so 3/4. So this is way too much that I poured out here. So half of 15 is, I'm going to do 5 ml. Good enough? All right. Alright, we got our solution for feeding our seedlings. Bottom watering, particularly indoors, sometimes troublesome because space is limited, it smells, and then you don't really want to over water. You don't want to put too much water in and then have to pour it back out. So sometimes it's a combination of bottom watering and under watering. And as you can see, the roots of the lettuce have already come out the bottom. This needs to be up potted. So we'll give this a few minutes to absorb what I've watered it with. If they need more, then I'll use up the rest, what's left of here. And if that's not enough, we'll just use regular water. Hopefully that'll be fine. Some of these have flopped because they were leaning against this thing, and yeah, they weren't developing strong roots like they were supposed to. and they were just a little, these are a little bit leggy, I do admit. These are a little bit too far from the light. And also there are some weed seeds that came in either with the growing medium or seeds themselves. Like this is not an onion, likely the seeds in this case. This is much definitely a grass. But here, this could have been a seed that somehow I threw in. Maybe, I don't know what this is. So you can see how the celery is leaning because the light is not proportionately over everybody. And you can see how dry the top layer looks. Most of the celery is up. The cardoon never came up. I am going to give it another week and then I will reseed. There's also an artichoke that should have come up here but did not. And then I did not get lettuce in these cells, but that's fine because I have enough with just these. And then the strawberries, pretty 80% germination, I'd say. That's not bad. Happy with how many there is there, and we did get the 2 basil that we wanted. And this more recent planting of sweet potato, still moisture under there. I see roots now coming out the bottom. That's awesome. This flower of leaf has perked up, so there's life there. So that doesn't need to be watered for a few more days. Oh, I see I have a leak in the system here. Dang it. All right, let me go fix that. And I also want to share just a couple of things I got over the holidays. Not necessarily presents. Of course they're presents. So one thing was a new Fisker's pruner, because the one I have is fairly old and was used already and doesn't particularly cut as well as it could. It could probably just be sharpened, but there is a piece of it that's broken. But this way, 2 people can now prune things, so that should make things a little bit faster. Another purchase I made, I was kind of scared to, because, well, the website was acting all weird when I was ordering it, but so far so good. So cross my fingers, that's the end of that. But it is, oh, I don't know why I'm even picking this up. So this is actually a company out of Pennsylvania. It's called Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. So this is worm compost, but like the Amazon compost I've been buying has always appeared just dead to me. Just basically, that they cooked it. Plus there was a bajillion rocks. I had collected the majority of the rocks and I put it outside and the dog found it, so I don't have evidence of the rocks anymore. But it filled up a whole like yogurt quart. Is that what the size of a yogurt container is, the bigger one? Of how many rocks I sifted out of the worm compost. Now, what worries me about this worm casting is that it's alive. Like, I'm worried that, I'm gonna have bugs, just like fungus gnats mainly, that are just gonna be a problem. Or also, just that you get mold. Is it mold? But growth. Certain kind of growth on your seedling container, because this is alive and nothing's eating it because it's indoors. So while I wasn't particularly fond of the bag earth castings that I was ordering from Amazon, I'm still a little scared about this actual real product of worm casting. Now they also sell real worms, and they sell worm kits. And what's my phone doing right now? Worm kits, so you can grow your own worms and have your own worm castings. But this is what worm casting should be. It should look like individual poopies and not just dust in the wind. So I saw a dead roly-poly in here. That's why I was worried, like, if there's, things that could survive all this, that I will reactivate when I use it. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have actual, real earthworm compost in here. Possibly even baby earthworms, who knows. But yeah, so I'll let you know, as the season passes, how this fares. But look at the nice bag. You get the plastic, obviously, but you also have this nice reusable bag here. And so while it lightly snows out there, I'll stay inside and replace some of the seeds that didn't come up. So the cardoon did not come up. And I fished around in the soil and didn't find any. What is that? Where did the seeds go? Did they just really rot that quickly? I don't feel like that's what should happen. Okay, I only need 3. Come on. Work with me here. Oh, there's one over there already. I see one bad seed already. Come on. Oh, that's too many. Okay, good. So did I bury them too deep? I don't want to bury them too deep. There's 1, 2, and that's definitely too deep over here. 3. Cover that up. A little water. I'm not going to be putting any humidity dome on it because that would not serve the other plants in here. There's also an artichoke. Oh wait, no. I found that seed and maybe it was buried too deep because it hadn't done anything. It wasn't rotten. It didn't activate. So I brought it up to the surface and see if that comes up. But otherwise, that is the doings for me here in early January, Zone 6, New York. I do hope to be sharing regular content again soon. Sometimes when you take a break, it takes an extra oomph to get you started again. Hopefully this cold that's lingering will be gone in a few more days, or at least more tolerable. And yeah, I'll be able to share what's up next. All right, thanks for sharing your time with me. I will talk to you all again soon. So I'll harvest more. Bye.